This is our second podcast episode with our updates since last time. We're gonna talk about our finished objects, and our whips, I think.
Yeah. We showed our acquisitions in our last video.
Yes, we did.
Our yarn haul. So that's
no
already been
acquisitions since
discussed.
then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Starting with finished objects. I will not talk about this too much because I made a whole video about it, but this is my dress that I knit for, there's a little bit. I knit for our recent university graduation that happened. Yippee. And yeah, I am really proud of this and very happy with how it came out. I'll show the buttons on the back. Actually, I should button them. But I used Pearl Soho's Cattail Silk in, I should have checked this, but Moon White, I believe. And there's these 3 little buttons on the back. And one of them, you can see my buttonhole is, I was kind of finishing this in a rush the night before graduation. So this is coming a little bit loose, so I'll have to fix that. But yeah, and I knit it on, I believe that I knit it on either 2.75 or 3 millimeter needles for the body, and 2 millimeter needles for the straps and the like top band. And yeah, super happy to be done with this big project, and it felt really good to wear it on that day. And if you want to see more about it, check out the video that I made about it. But yeah, and I have, we should link our Ravelries.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
I have in my project notes on Ravelry a little description kind of the process. I did not follow a pattern. This was self-drafted, so if you're curious, it's in my project notes. So that is that. And then I have not really made progress on my other bigger whips that I showed in our last podcast, so I don't have any other like big finished objects. Since that dress, I've been kind of in the need to like do a bunch of small quick projects because I'm kind of burnt out on like long haul projects for the moment. So I have been having fun doing that. I knit this pair of socks. Yeah. They are very pilly on the bottom, so ignore that. But yeah, I knit this pair of socks that I talked about in our last video, our main vlog. So yeah, I did a 3x1 rib and a short row heel, and I really like that combination. I used Drops Flora, which is 50% wool, 50% alpaca, which is probably why it's pilling, but it's also really soft and cozy. So happy with those. I want to knit more socks. I haven't knit very many socks in my knitting career, so it was fun to knit a pair of socks. And then I have a couple of gift knits. So if you are my boyfriend's mom or grandma and you're watching this,
Tune
out. But first I have a pair of modified Midnight Hare mitts.
Oh my god, I haven't seen both of them together.
Yeah.
They look so good!
Thank you.
I should put them on.
Yeah, okay. These are a gift for my boyfriend's grandma. She has knitted me something and I wanted to return the favor, knitter to knitter. And so the pattern has you do like the moon and then the hare jumping over the moon, but as I was knitting that, they were just getting really long. So I was using a slightly larger needle size for the color work. And so I just split it into two, and I think it looks really cute. I used some leftovers from my socks.
Shout out.
To do the cuff and thumb hole, and yeah, and then I used some leftovers from other projects, knitting for Olive, merino for the white, and for the purple, it's like a tan, light brown knitting for Olive merino that I held with a lilac purple soft silk mohair that I got in a yarn swap. So this was a fun kind of stash scrap project, and I'm really happy with how they came out. I think they're so cute. And I've been wanting to knit this. Oh, wait, sorry?
Do you show the inside as well?
The inside?
'Cause I really like the inside.
Yeah, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, that was fun.
So cute.
Yeah, I've been wanting to knit this pattern ever since I saw it on Ravelry, so got the opportunity to do so. And then I knit this kerchief for my boyfriend's mom. I'm going to visit them soon, so that's why I'm making all these gifts right now. And this is like a very much inspired by / modeled after my favorite things knitwear. And I used also some yarn that I got in a yarn swap. Shout out our friend Allison. The purple mohair and this was both her yarn. And it's Senescarn Double Sunday. And it's this really nice blue green. So yeah, fun little bandana. And those are all my finished objects at the moment.
I have been in a bit of a knitting rut, so only have one finished object. I've also, as you'll see in a moment, my whips are a little intensive at the moment, so I haven't been able to power through them at the desired speed. But I made this little hat, which yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. Hey. It is a hat that I knit up around Christmas time, and then realized I was way off with my gauge after blocking it, and she was a mammoth, so I frogged it and then paired it together with this light green mohair that I was given, so I don't know what it is, but the dark green I will find and right here, but it's a really beautiful merino that I acquired in Iceland, so I really wanted to make it. It was kind of the perfect one skein project. I used nearly all of it. I wanted to make it a triple brimmed hat just because winters where we live can get really intense and cold. So I don't know how really to explain this, but I knit this bit around itself and then seamed it together and then continued up so that I don't have to fold it 3 times myself. I just have to flap it up. So yeah, flap it up. I'm really happy with how it came out. It fits me much better this time. And I ended up making it too long, and then I took it out, took out a bunch of rows and redid the decreases. But this is my first successful hat, which I'm super, happy to say. And it will not be my last. So yeah, that is my singular finished object.
I just closed the window, so if there's a drastic audio shift, that's why. And apologies. I don't think any of us are wearing, I just realized, anything.
I'm wearing my socks.
Literally.
I'm
so
wearing
true.
some socks.
Oh my god! I'm wearing some boring Aritzia socks, but I am using this right now. And this is not something I'm necessarily proud of, but I would like to remake a water bottle cover.
Yeah.
And this was really just a I never really have done cables still to this day, but this was me trying to try out a cable without a cable needle. And it was really just like random, but keeping me nice and warm.
Yeah.
It's also pretty muggy where we are, so I feel like we haven't really been wearing our knitwear that much anyway.
I need to get those summer knits going.
Yeah. Okay, so in my vlog that I posted, I already showed these, but I finished them, so I'm gonna show them again quickly. These are just the socks, my Hanan Bonet inspired socks. And in Maine, I wore them probably like 3 or 4 days in a row. So the bottom, this might be triggering for some people. The bottom is like very felting. And that is also because...
That, like, I mean, this is like flat.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot see the stitches.
Yeah, I guess it's also because the
Isn't
composition
that
is
good?
very different, these two yarns. So this one, I think, has something in it. Like, it's a soft yarn. It's a little stronger. It might have, like, nylon or polyester. And this one is not the amble yarn. It's just, like, yeah, it's gonna felt. So that's that. But I'm really enjoying wearing them, and... yeah, I feel like I'm committed. I have a pair of socks that have a hole that ripped recently, and I'm committed to repairing them, because when you can get like many years out of a knit sock, I have some that my aunt made me that I've worn for like 5 years, and it's just so satisfying and nice. And then these are the socks that I was working on in Maine, Hermione's socks, and they definitely have some, you know, intended sock composition. I don't remember right now what's in them, but I think it is nylon. And they're not really felting or pilling all that much at all, which is awesome. Yeah.
Beautiful.
2 pairs of socks. Those are my finished objects.
Works in progress. Works in progress. Okay. Well, I'll show you what I'm works in progressing right now in my hands, which is another pair of socks. These are for my boyfriend. They are, as you can probably tell, kind of a combination of ends of other yarns. This is some alpaca yarn that I got actually at Rhinebeck last year. Lucy and I went. It was the first time both of us had ever gone. It was really awesome. Got this beautiful alpaca there. This is more Drops Flora from the socks I'm wearing. This blue is some actual sock yarn from my first ever pair of socks that I ever made. And then this is some Knitting for Olive merino in a similar-ish brown, but they're kind of like color blocked. Which yesterday I was kicking myself wishing that I had done stripes instead of like half and half, but today I like it. I think it's cute. So this is sock 1 of 2. And then I have some kind of random other whips. This is more of an update than a whip, a frogging update. I, in the last podcast, talked about the shell tee from Wool and Beyond that I was making, and said that I was gonna redo like the top half. And then, silly me, I realized that doing 1x1 striping meant that I couldn't just like cut in the middle and start going bottom up like I have with other like one color knits where it's invisible. This was going to be certainly visible, so I just decided frog it all and do my vision that I wanted, and then I would feel good about it the whole time I was knitting, because I feel like when I don't feel good about what I'm making, I just like don't even want to work on it, and it's better just to frog it and restart.
What's the vision again? Reminds me.
Like I want to do kind of like a vest or like a sleeveless top
Love
situation where I really liked the detail on the shell tee where it's like kind of like a gather on the back.
Yeah.
And I want to do that maybe all the way around. And have like a folded hem, kind of boat neck folded hem on the sleeves and folded hem at the bottom.
Love.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna look so good.
So I'm excited for that. when I finally do that. And then this is also something I'm kind of finally getting around to, which is I knit my boyfriend this scarf, and don't know why I thought that it wouldn't roll this much, but I thought that it wouldn't, but it did, obviously, because it's just stockinette. It rolled so much, and I just wanted to make it like lay flat. So I'm knitting a backside, like a second layer, in just this gray yarn. I think it's 80% wool, 20% synthetic, but yeah, I'm just knitting a backside. It's looking kind of weird right now, but when it blocks it'll be okay. So that it lays flat, and it's pretty thick, but I think it'll be good. When it's all done, it'll look nice, and it's reversible. Yeah. So I'm hoping this turns out well. This is, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little apprehensive because the yarn on the back is quite thicker, quite thick, yeah, than the front side, and so it's kind of stiff and thick, and I'm just a little like, I don't know about that. But like I said, I'm gonna go visit him and his family soon, so I can just ask him what he thinks, and I can always undo it and do something else on the back.
Totally.
If it's not the vibe. So we'll see, because I really do like this scarf. I think it's really cute, like the front of it. And so yeah, I just don't wanna, I don't know,
what yarn is this again?
On the back?
Yeah.
It's, I can't remember the name of it, but it's just it's like 80% wool, 20% synthetic kind of situation. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I want to do a finer yarn.
Yeah.
So
is the goal to bring this one to him on this trip? Because you could always...
Yeah, but I'm not expecting to be finished with it.
Right.
But I'm thinking I could get more yarn there that is finer and use this for something else. Like it's just like chill gray. Chill gray yarn I could use. I could think of a way to use this. Is that your
like warmer yarn? No.
Yes,
okay.
But I got like a second ball of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. So we'll see. That I might have just decided to take that out live on camera, but anyways, that's another whip. And then I talked in the last knitting podcast about the ridge sweater I'm working on, but I have made like 2 rows of progress since I last showed it, so I'm not gonna show it again because no new information. But I'll get back to that once I have the energy for big projects. So yeah, those are my whips.
Incredible. So I'm still working on the Ingrid sweater. This is my first whip, but I have made very good progress on it. I'm happy with how it's coming along so far. I normally have a hard time on sweaters knitting the body just because it is so many stitches, especially with this gauge that I'm using. It's so many stitches, and at least in stockinette it can be very fatiguing, but the pattern is just so fun. The different sort of sections of pattern is so, it just keeps my focus on it. So it's been going pretty quickly. And I started here on the first sleeve in Maine a few weeks ago, and I don't know, well, I didn't have service, so I couldn't like see the pattern I had downloaded. I did not download it, and because I didn't have service, I could not access it, and somehow picked up only 2/3 of the stitches that I actually needed for the sleeve. So the sleeve was a little intensely, and that was certainly a look. I was gonna go with it, and then I realized that that was not the vision I had for this sweater throw over. I want it to be kind of loose, and because it is 100% wool, it'll still be pretty warm, but I don't want it, I want to be able to wear it like on a summer night. And I think if it were too sort of cinched, it would, I don't know, it would just not be the vibe, and just also aesthetically not what I was going for. So I ripped out the sleeve, I got done with most of it, and then ripped it out and just cast back on the proper number of stitches, and I'm liking it a lot more, so I'm glad that was my decision. I also am I'm toying with adding some more length. I don't know, it's difficult also because when I put it on, it sits on me differently than when I just hold it up. Hello. But it's kind of hitting me like belly button area, and I am trying to factor in how it's going to stretch when I block it. But I do foresee maybe needing to pick back up and do another little section of this garter rib, or what did I end with? Seed stitch? Or I don't know, just maybe even a 1x1, but we'll see. So something to think about for sure, but I'm very happy with how it's coming along. That's the Ingrid sweater. I also have made some progress. I'm like nearly finished with these shorts.
Look so beautiful on camera.
Thank you.
And
I'm very happy with how they're coming out. I was a little concerned. I mean, you definitely can see the short rows on the front.
I feel like it's
and on the
cute,
back.
though.
It's kind of cute. It has
it's like patchworky.
a little butt shaping, a little, you know, funness. But I'm very happy with how these are coming out. I did, I'm happy with how they're coming out. The second leg is almost done. It's just I'm also using my 3mm for the Ingrid sweater, so I have to sort of alternate between them. And I'm also contemplating picking up at the top to do a little rib. Not a very long one because I do want them to be low rise, but they are very low rise at the current moment. And around the house that might be fine, but if I want to, you know, take them out on the town, I think I would like a little more coverage on top. So yeah, I'm contemplating doing that maybe in one of these darker colors, like this dark sort of red purpley color. I think that would be very flattering. And yeah, I've been using these little skeins of Shetland held double, and they have surprised me with how far they can go. I thought I would have none left, but I think I might have enough to do like a little bralette or something to match it. I think that would be so cute. Obviously a wool bralette is gonna maybe not get a lot of use out of it, but for the matchy match, I think it could be very fun. Yes. So those are the micro shorts, and I
2026.
if I sat down with these and just took a morning to do it, I also have been weaving the ends in as I've been going, so they're so close to being done.
Strong.
It's just
Very strong.
it's just, yeah, I just need to sit and do these. It's super doable. And then the final random thing I've been working on that is not super inspiring to me, but I've been working on it, are these little gloves. I'm trying to go through my stash a little bit, and I started with the least inspiring colors. It was for my boyfriend's balaclava that I made him, and this pink and this blue are super wash and not my favorite yarns to work with, and I just figured I need to do something with them to get rid of them. So I'm making these for him, but they're actually a little too small. So I might rip it out. Maybe I'll just wear them for myself or give them to someone. Yeah, but these little fingerless gloves, these I did not weave the ends in as I went, so they're a bit of a pain. But yeah, I knit this first one in like a day, and the second one is nowhere to be seen. So we'll see if that ever happens. And I'm also using up this knitting for Olive that I used to make my first ever sweater for my mom. And then this cream is an unknown superwash merino as well. So yeah, it's a bit of a not very typical knit for me in terms of colors and vibe, but you know, it's something.
Stash busting.
Stash busting. And yeah, I think that is it for me.
Okay. Well, I just started this thing a few days ago and then haven't worked on it since, but I'm still gonna show it. I also looked on Ravelry and clarified the contents of these yarns. So this one has 27% nylon / polyamide. But this one from Peninsula Yarn, which is like called BFL sock, I think, is just 100% blue-faced Leicester. I pronounced that wrong in the last video.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess that species breed just has like very sturdy wool, or maybe the way it's plied, because it's 100% wool and literally like nothing's happening. So yeah, I purchased the pressed flowers sock pattern. Anyone remember the author of that?
Oh my god, cute! No, I don't.
By, let me just give credit where credit is due really quick.
So cute!
I love it.
Wait, I did not know this was in the works.
Pressed Flowers Sock by Amy Christophers. And my goal is to just use the rest of these two up, but the situation, thank you, is that it requests like a bigger needle size for the color work, which I was like, I'll just knit loosely, it's fine. Also because these are like my favorite sock needles, and I just didn't really want to switch over.
What?
You're just so like...
But it is slightly
I
tight.
didn't realize I was locked.
You are locked in.
I also did 48 stitches instead of 56, being like, I always make socks a little bit too big, but now they are a little bit of a, so I have to decide if I'm gonna take it out. Also because this is mosaic knitting and this is my first time doing it, I wouldn't mind taking it out and restarting just because this is kind of like a swatch in my head. But yeah, it's really cute.
It's so cute. I really wanted
to try it out. Yeah.
Love.
Super fun. And then my next project is what I've been really cramming on lately. I received a gift card to a local yarn store for graduation from my partner's mom, which was so generous. And so I went, and before we went to Maine, treated myself to a sweater's quantity of yarn. So these are them. And this one is 90% wool and 10% silk. And
it's
then
really not. Like, sorry
it's,
to interrupt.
I know,
the colors
it's not,
are not
it's not
that
getting.
beautiful on camera. I mean, they're still beautiful, but like in person, they're
It's not doing
This is looking
justice.
much more like white or something
like
on
it
camera.
is, but it's like a golden, like
Yeah.
pale golden.
shadowing.
So this one is called Dusty Honey. It's just knitting for Olive. Can't go wrong. And then this one, I have to do some due diligence. This is the Louise Robert Collection DK Pure in the color Fontainebleau, which I looked up and it means like spring fountain. Is that correct?
Fontainebleau?
Yeah. Fontainebleau.
Oh, spelled that way, yeah. But the way it sounds, it's just blue fountain.
Blue fountain. Okay, yeah. Well, it's definitely not blue. So I think we were going for like springtime.
Yes, it to me it feels very like meadow
Yes.
grass.
Yeah.
Frolicking.
Wildflower.
Got some pink, some like
Yeah.
dark purple that almost looks black, some little yellow, and speckle vibes. And even though I'm extraordinarily warm right now, I'm just gonna do a try on.
Yes, please.
So this is the late checkout sweater by Veronica Lindberg in the size extra small, but the sleeves are the size small, like I just picked up because I wanted some extra wide sleeves. And
Looks
this
so
is the
good.
situation.
She has been zooming.
Literally.
This is the little cat.
Yeah.
This is like the angry cat.
Kitty
But-
cat.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying this. My goal is to do it quickly because I think I bought one extra ball of mohair that I don't need, and I can return it if I finish this within 3 months, but it's still been less than a month. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
it would be fine if
You're
I took
going
much
so
longer,
fast.
but
Do you show this little
Yeah,
detail
can
on
you
the back?
take a little
It's
turn?
so gorgeous.
It's so nice.
Ugh.
it's just a very simple
And
but
the
classic
ribbing is
design.
like so clean, and it
Yes.
just looks beautiful.
It really
Thanks.
does.
It's a drop shoulder 2x2 rib for the hem, collar, and sleeve. And yeah, it's a great pattern. I'm feeling really interested in like this sleeve length, maybe a bit longer. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna like cut it short and do more of like a 2/3 sleeve instead of a full sleeve, because I just love the
Yeah.
flowiness of it. And I'm also learning a lesson about like speckled and variegated yarns, which Morgan and I have talked about before from a previous sweater that she made. But definitely the first skein I used for this part has more of these like purple black speckles, and then the bottom doesn't as much. And the sleeves are like, I don't know, somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I don't really care. I think it's kind of fun. And yeah, I'm hoping to be done with this in the next like week or two. So that will be exciting.
Yeah.
Obviously won't be able to wear it for many, many months, but it's still been really
On a
fun.
cold summer night.
Cold
Yeah.
summer night, yeah. And yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say about it.
Amazing.
Woohoo!
Beautiful.
Fire.
Well, I think that concludes all of our updates for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
And
And thank you for all of the kind comments.
yeah.
We get so excited every time someone comments.
Yeah,
And
everyone
read
is
it aloud and go,
so
"Yay!"
lovely. It's like
Yeah.
our like morning ritual. I feel like.
Yeah.
Just to, like look at all these really lovely people who are excited about knitting.
Literally.
And we've gotten a few questions about Instagram, which
Oh, we
yeah.
have.
if that
We
happens,
might do that.
Yeah.
That would be really
Yeah.
fun.
And we just recently got to 600 subscribers, which is so exciting. So thank you everyone for subscribing.
Thank you.
This is so fun. And yeah.
And our fourth roommate Sam is working on a project right now
Yes.
that hopefully we will
Fingerless
include a little
goals.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or include in the next podcast.
Yeah.
If
Stay
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Definitely, yeah, I will be buying some yarn, I believe, on this trip that I'm gonna go on, because there's a really awesome yarn store where I'm going. So yeah, stay freaking tuned.
Yay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching.
Bye!
Love you. Bye.